Good evening, Dustin Grove along with Kylie Gandalf here. We have breaking news to report to you this evening out of both Washington and New York City.
The Capitol building was evacuated about 30 minutes ago in what is being blamed on a bomb scare. Also, Vice President Dick Cheney was moved moments ago from Washington to Camp David for security reasons.
And the latest now, federal officials have ordered a stop to all air traffic in and out of New York airports because of some sort of FBI activity. That's what the Associated Press is telling us. Apparently they saw all this has to do something with a bomb scare situation.
We are monitoring the situation and will bring you up to date on the latest as we receive it. But again, the Capitol building has been evacuated. All air traffic in and out of New York is stopped, and Vice President Cheney was moved from Washington, D.C. to Camp David.
Now, rescuers continue to search for survivors in the rubble of the World Trade Center.
It's not known how many people died as a result of Tuesday's terrorist attack, but more than 4,700 people are still unaccounted for. Sean Calebs has the latest.
Half days into the tragedy, and emergency crews have made little progress in removing the mountain of rubble. Still, Mayor Rudy Giuliani says as many as 10,000 body bags will be needed.
And the medical examiner is able to identify the remains as a body, then they'll be identified, they'll be numbered basically for identification.
Mayor Giuliani says workers may not be able to recover all of the bodies.
It could turn out that we recover fewer than that. It could be more. We don't know the answer to that yet.
So far, there's no estimate on the number of casualties. There are 300 sniffer dogs combing the rubble right now. Hospitals are filling up quickly with what are being described as the walking wounded.
The problem has been that the site is very unstable. They can't really excavate deep into the site at present without the chance of it collapsing on itself.
Thick, acrid, chalky smoke still billows over lower Manhattan. Despite the accompanying health concerns, city officials hope to open up the area further south from 14th Street to Canal Street. Legions of volunteers are answering calls for help, and the demand for blood donors remains high.
In New York, the search through the rubble in Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan is still considered to be search and rescue. In Washington, a different situation, though. The search is now one of recovery. Around 200 victims are estimated to have lost their lives. Well, we found out today that New York financial markets will not reopen tomorrow as previously thought. Instead, trading is now scheduled to open no later than Monday morning. The Chicago Board of Trade and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange reopened today with limited trading. Meanwhile, most of the nation's airports reopened today, allowing for stranded passengers to finally get where they're going.
Today is the first day commercial air travel is allowed in the sky since Tuesday morning's attack. ABC News is reporting airport security is at its highest level since the Persian Gulf War in 1991. For example, airport officials say passengers must now go only to the ticket counter to check baggage. Curbside check-ins are now prohibited, and passengers won't be able to bring knives or cutting tools on board with them, and that even includes plastic utensils. Also, you can expect more ID checks and physical searches through baggage. Well, in Washington today, President Bush promised the U.S. would not relent until all those connected to the attacks are held accountable. He visited Washington Hospital Center to speak with victims of the Pentagon attack. The president says he's been reaching out to allies worldwide as he builds a coalition to respond to the terrorism.
It's just a sobering moment for Laura and me, but thank the hospital, the docs, the nurses, and of course, again, tell the families that the nation prays for those who have been injured during this unbelievable act of terror.
And tomorrow, President Bush visits Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan. He'll also visit area hospitals to speak with victims there. He's already declared tomorrow to be a national day of prayer and remembrance for the victims of the attacks. A spokesman says he's asking Americans to spend at least part of their lunch breaks at a worship or prayer service.
We have new information for you now concerning the search for who's responsible for Tuesday's attacks. Attorney General John Ashcroft says there are thousands of leads to pursue in the investigation. He also says a total of 18 hijackers were on the 4 planes. Of the 4 planes involved in Tuesday's disaster, 2 had 5 hijackers on each plane. The 2 other planes, 4 hijackers each.
According to sources in Pakistan's intelligence service, Osama Bin Laden has moved to a new hiding place. Sources say within minutes of Tuesday's attacks in the U.S., Bin Laden was on the move and told no one where he was going. Bin Laden, as many of you know by now, is a chief suspect in the attack. He's been living in Afghanistan.
Investigators in Pennsylvania today recovered the black box of the hijacked United Airlines Flight 93. They also uncovered pieces of the plane several miles away from where it crashed on Tuesday. Officials recovered much of the debris in Indian Lake, which is a residential community. Authorities are urging residents to let them know of any wreckage they find. Well, coming up, the government's report card in handling Tuesday's crisis is out. Find out if President Bush made the grade.
And support and prayer for the victims of this tragedy is not slowing down here at Ball State. We'll show you what students are doing to help out and what you can do. Stay with us.
In East Central Indiana, there is only one place to turn for local news.
About 2 million Serbian residents.
Ball State has gained national attention.
NewsCenter 43.
America's
And roll 7. We're okay on time now, guys.
Clouds begin to form.
Muncie's only live TV newscast.
Reporting live.
Only live.
On Saturday as we go to the
An
highlight.
official CNN Student Bureau. News Center 43, Monday through Thursday at 5:30 and 9:30 on Burrs Channel 43.
The Indianapolis International Airport came to life this morning, but only to people who already had scheduled flights. Authorities there urge passengers to double-check their flight information and only come to the airport if they have a confirmed flight.
The highest-ranking officer killed in this week's attacks in the United States is Lieutenant General Timothy Maude. Maude was an Indianapolis native and the Army's Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel. He was in his Pentagon office Tuesday when American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the building.
Into northern Indiana now, where police are investigating 2 separate attacks as possible hate crimes. A masked gunman fired at a Yemeni man in a Gary gas station yesterday. Also, a Jordanian restaurant owner arrived yesterday to find his windows completely broken out.
Closer to home now on the Ball State University campus, it's clear the support for victims of this tragedy has not let up. More prayer vigils will be held tonight and a fundraiser. The Blue Bottle fundraiser was held last night. They raised $300 with that. That money will go directly to victims in Washington and New York. Also, a memorial today outside University Plaza where people could light a candle in memory of those who lost their life. Now, tomorrow, in observance of National Prayer and Remembrance Day, Ball State will have a brief service on the Arts Terrace at noon. That's in the Quad. Tomorrow is also Red, White, and Blue Day at Ball State. We are all urged to wear those colors.
And a Ball State professor says the United States government did a good job, but not a perfect job in handling crisis communication in the hours immediately following Tuesday's attacks. Robert Pritchard is a public relations professor and former military public affairs official for Europe and the Middle East. Pritchard says he is concerned about the amount of time it took for a statement to be issued from our government leaders. He gives the government a B in handling the attack. Pritchard says he would have given the government an A if a statement had been issued earlier.
Alon Willie's here with look at the weather for a second.
It was a little chilly outside when I was coming in here.
Yes, and you see the clouds rolling in. That's because we're going to get some rain this evening. But the good thing is it's going to be out of our area tomorrow and the sun will be back. So that's something to look forward to.
Okay.
But I'll have your complete forecast after the break. Welcome back to News Center at 5:30. If you remember this morning, we started off the day with bright sunshine. Temperatures just comfortable out there. But right now, if you look outside, it's cloudy. The clouds are rolling in. Right now, what we are looking at is just a cloudy day with rain on the way. But before all this cold air came in, we got up to 77 degrees for our high. Our normal high is 76 degrees. This morning we're at 54 and our normal low is 55. As we take a look at our highs around Indiana, which is coming up, okay, you see the northern part of Indiana, they were kind of lower than the southern part, and that's because of this cold front that was in that area. But you see Muncie got up to 77. Evansville topped off the map at 85 degrees for the high for today. As we look at our current conditions out there, it's currently cloudy and our temperature is at 66 degrees with our winds northeast at 10 miles per hour. As we take a look at our satellite here, look at this cloud cover in the Midwest. Where that cloud cover is where most of the rain is. And as we take a look at our radar, we'll see that this rain is in our area and is going to be coming to our area more so this evening. As we look down here in Florida, they have this tropical depression down there, and that's what's making them have some more severe and threatening flood watches and stuff like that in their area. But as we see in Ohio and the northern part of Indiana, that's where most of the rain is, and that rain is going to be moving more southeast into our area by this evening. But the good news is it's going to be moving out, and by tomorrow we will have some sunshine coming in for tomorrow. So that's a good thing to look at. Now, as we look at this cold front, which I was talking about, we see that it's over our area now, and by tomorrow, it's just going to be more so to the east, so nothing really to worry about for tonight. But as we look at our temperatures for tonight, we're going to have some scattered showers out there. Our low is going to be down to 56 degrees with our winds northeast at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you're going to be sunny out there. Look at that cold temperature, 48 degrees tomorrow morning. So if you have not put out your fall fashions, I suggest you do so because you're going to need that jacket tomorrow with 48 degrees for tomorrow morning when you start off your day. Now, as we take a look at this front that's going to be coming in, you see that the front is moving out of our way, and we're going to have this high pressure in our system. And with this high pressure, that's going to keep our temperatures cooler like they are, but our rain will be out of our forecast. The clouds will be out and sunshine will be in, and it's just going to keep us at a stable, just kind of cool, chilly day for tomorrow. Now, as we look at what we're going to be getting up to tomorrow, the sun will continue, and our high will be at 67 degrees with our wind northeast at 11 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the 3-day, look at that. Cooler temperatures, a jacket very in need for the weekend. 68 on Saturday, so if you're going to that football game on Saturday, I suggest you take a jacket. Now, if there is no football game, then I guess we won't even have to worry about that.
No football game
No
this
football
weekend.
game this weekend,
Yeah.
just canceled it.
It was amazing the way the temperatures dropped when I went into my 3:30 class and when I came out. It was like 2 different days.
You can feel the cold
It
front
was
coming down,
amazing.
yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
I haven't been outside since this morning. So.
You'll be surprised,
I
trust
will.
me.
We want to update you on that breaking news situation in Washington, D.C. with the bomb scare on Capitol Hill. They have sounded the all clear at the Capitol building, and everything is cleared, and there is no bomb. The situation is all finished, and everything's safe. So thank goodness for that. Margie's in next with sports, and no football game this weekend, right?
No football game, no volleyball match, no Ball State sports. Major League Baseball is still off. NFL is now off, and I'll have all the news on the lack of sports in the nation when NewsCenter comes back. Stay tuned. Saturday's game against Southern Illinois. According to Assistant Athletics Communications Director Chris Taylor, this is the first time he can remember a BSU game. And we'd like to apologize for those technical difficulties a minute ago. But at times of tragedy and loss, people turn to events such as sports to bring joy and boost the spirits of a nation. But out of reverence to those who were lost this past Tuesday, Ball State has decided to postpone this Saturday's game against Southern Illinois. According to Assistant Athletics Communications Director Chris Taylor, this is the first time he can remember a BSU game has ever been called off. The closest, he says, the university ever came prior to today was the start of the Gulf War. Athletic Director Andrea Seeger had first decided to play on Saturday, but then she had second thoughts after the SEC football powerhouse retracted their decision to play earlier today.
And given the fact that President Bush had encouraged collegiate institutions to continue to play on Saturday, we felt very comfortable with our decision. But again, once it was determined that we would be one of the last games standing, we really decided that it would be in the best interest of everyone to cancel.
And besides football, the following sports have been canceled for Ball State. The Ball State women's soccer match against Taylor and the BSU field hockey games at Maine tomorrow, plus the field hockey team's game versus Dartmouth Sunday have been canceled. The men's and women's cross-country meets scheduled for Friday at the Indiana Intercollegiate in West Lafayette have been canceled. The Ball State softball team was to play in the fall tournament at Purdue Sunday, but that too has been canceled. And there is no word yet if these events will be rescheduled for a later date. And in addition, the Ball State Athletics Hall of Fame banquet that was set for this Friday will also be rescheduled for a later date. And never in a strike season has the nation seen, in a non-strike season, has the nation seen a week go by from September to December without the National Football League. And for the first time in NFL history today, regular season games have been canceled. The league is now facing many questions on what to do with the remaining regular season games. So here are 3 possible ideas. Play a 15-game schedule except for San Diego, which is off this weekend and would play 16 games. Play this week's game on the wild card weekend and cut the playoff wild cards in each conference from 3 to 1. And the least likely option is to juggle bye weeks to finish a 16-game schedule and leave the playoffs the same. But since Tuesday, the baseball world also, in the pennant races and the quest of 70 home runs has been on hold. And as it now stands, baseball will not be played again until at least Monday. Baseball will make up all the games by extending the regular season, which had been scheduled to end on September 30th, but the games will now be rescheduled for the week of October 1st. And the only way to get anywhere in the last couple of days has been by a car. However, no cars will be going around New Hampshire International Speedway this weekend either. NASCAR has canceled the New Hampshire 300. The race has been rescheduled for November 23rd, the day after Thanksgiving. And it seems so many people have connections involving the other day's attacks. And those people also include those of the sports world. The family of Louisville men's basketball coach Rick Pitino today informed Kentucky officials that Pitino's brother-in-law, William Minardi, is still missing in New York after the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. The Lexington Herald-Ledger reported Thursday that Minardi, the brother of Pitino's wife, Joanne, worked as a bond broker on the 105th floor of the North Tower in the World Trade Center. And that is a look at sports.
Okay. Thoughts and prayers certainly with all of those people.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still ahead, we'll have a check of today's other news making news around the country.
Stay with us.
Checking other stories making news around America now. Authorities are still investigating why a tour plane crashed in Mexico late Wednesday, killing all 19 people aboard, including 16 Americans. The U.S. citizens had arrived on a cruise ship earlier in the day yesterday and took a chartered plane to see the Mayan ruins in the South Yucatan. There's still no word on the cause of that crash.
An emergency crews are still on the scene of a train. It's Great Salt Lake Desert, sorry about that. An Amtrak train and a freight train collided into each other about 7 o'clock this morning. 6 people were injured, most were relatively minor. The Amtrak train was headed from Chicago to Oakland, California. And Mulan, it's cooling down out there, and it's going to get colder
down,
huh?
Yes, and the rain is coming in, and the cold front is why we have that cooler air, because the cold air right behind there. But after the rain gets through with tonight, tomorrow it should be sunny. But for tonight, we're going to have some scattered showers out there. A low of 56 degrees with our wind northeast at 10 miles per hour. Now tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be about 48 degrees out there with our wind picking up at 12 miles per hour. Tomorrow, later on in the day, we're going to be getting up to only 67 degrees, so it will be a change from what we have been seeing. And the sun will continue, so that is the good part. Our wind will be out of the northeast at 11 miles per hour. But for our 3-day, 68, 69, and 72, I mean, just comfortable, I guess, fall-like temperatures as fall is coming in the next few weeks.
Okay, thanks, Mulan. Again, updating you now, the Capitol building, all clear, no bomb scare. That is not the case. So everything is clear on Capitol Hill and the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. We'll obviously keep monitoring and have more at 9:30.
Thanks for joining us for News Center at 5:30. I'm Kylie Gandalf.
And I'm Dustin Grove. News Center 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure and tune in again at 9:30. Good night.